I was confused. I didn't know whether I was going to join the army or whether I wanted to go to art school. And then I ended up doing the school play. I played the lion in The Wizard of Oz, and it seemed to get a lot of laughs. My teacher, Helena Meertz, who was a fantastic woman, after the first performance, she said, I've never said to any of my pupils this before, because it's a horrible profession, but I think you should be an actor. That's all I needed to hear. And then she guided me in the best way to do it, and then I went to apply for the National Youth Theatre, got in it. A year and a half later I went to RADA. But my very first professional job was, found myself in the back of an armoured car in Stoke, pretending to be in Northern Ireland. And I remember thinking it was quite hard work and a long time to get your breakfast, which seemed to come about 3 o'clock. I was also had to shoot somebody in the afternoon, but ironically that director is called Richard Longcrane. I've just done a film which is coming out next year. We've been tolerating, or he's been putting up with me, should I say, for the last nearly 40 years. That was like 40 years ago. I'm always obviously interested immediately in the character, because I'm if it's not interesting, it's very difficult to make the whole thing interesting. Is the character interesting? Now, in this later part of my career, is it integral, and is it challenging? And if it usually frightens me, and I usually think, blimey, this is wonderful, I don't think I'll be able to do that, and they're asking me, I usually say yes. With my work with Mike Lee over the years, you spend a hell of a lot of time on backstory. You start from the ground up. So if you've got an already ready-made script writing, I just go backwards and take it right down and down and down and down, and particularly if it's a challenging character, and somebody who's either a pariah or not very pleasant or loathed, or even sometimes loved, or sometimes both. I want to know where it's coming from. I want to know what they, and I always end up thinking, what were they like before they had each layer of sophistication of adulthood, and what were the things that made them this grown-up person? What is their fallibility, and what is their preoccupation? You've also got to be aware of the technical structure of the way a film works. It works in a rhythm. It works as a group of people coming together to tell a story. It's not just about you. In fact, you are the last important. It's the character, putting your character in that story, and will the audience who are watching it get it without seeing all the tricks you're trying to bring to it, all the things you do. If you're going to be egotistical, if you're going to be unpleasant, if you're going to be, why bother with that when, often people behave like that when they're insecure. I'd say, look, everyone's insecure. They look like they're not, but everybody's scared, right? Particularly actors, because they don't know. You're in a vulnerable position. You come with millions of ideas. You don't know if they're any good. You don't know if they're going to end up in it. So everybody's scared. Just be kind. Keep your concentration. Think and use your imagination. And remember, you're not the only person there. Really, you're not that important. It's the audience is the most. It'll often cut all the old bullshit out. Over the years, I've watched so many brilliant actors. We have so many. Charles Laughton is one of my favourite actors, and so is Robert Mitchum. James Stewart and Marlon Brando or Albert Finney. And there's some actors. Our people are always different, and some people are brilliant at being a version of the same thing. It doesn't matter. You see brilliant young actors and actresses coming up all the time, and I worked recently with Amy Squires and Tuppence Middleton. I thought, God, if these two young women are being this good, this concentrated, in this environment, it's fantastic, great news. And I see my son working with all these brilliant people, and I'm lucky enough to get the screeners, and I watch. I think, oh God, flipping hell, I'm constantly impressed. I'm a big fan of the Coen brothers. I love them. A film that I watched like an old friend actually is their version of True Grit. I love it. I love, what else do I like? Metropolis and The Fugitive Kind, which is a Marlon Brando film that nobody's ever seen. And there's new people. Last year, I was watching the screeners, and it's in Manchester by the Sea. A film like that can be made so, beautifully observed and so lacking in whiz-bang wallop, and be so beautiful. You think, well, that is the cinema, you know, at its best. And for it to look that believable and that honest and that seamless and that effortless, always say 50 times more than anything that looks like it's hard work.